Minecraft is dying. I'm sure most of you have heard this paragraph more than enough by now, but I'm here to tell you that no, it isn't dying. Not if we don't let it. See, a problem is that no hardcore creator has spoken on this topic. We've only had essay channels speak about it, and eventually it became very ironic how those videos became repetitive as well. However, I don't blame anyone. This issue needs to be addressed, and not only that, but it needs to be worked on. So I invited fellow hardcore creator Incy to finally take a step towards the solution of the problem. Is there a problem with Minecraft content in the first place, and if so, what is it?
I definitely do think there is a problem, but to be completely honest, like I thought a lot about this today before I got on here, and that's a pretty loaded question. So, I mean, at a very surface value, it appears that the problem is that hardcore YouTubers, myself included, are trying too hard. That their sweats, that we're attempting to farm views for money, I guess would be a way to put it. And of course, those people do exist, but the reality is that I know a lot of hardcore YouTubers personally who really hate the direction hardcore Minecraft and Minecraft videos in general have gone. A lot of them would much rather make slower, thought-provoking content. But they know that a lot of the big views, the money makers, and the stuff that puts the food on the table, that comes from retention editing and pumping your video full of crap to keep people entertained for as long as possible. Now, and if I go on a tangent, you can stop me at any time, but don't get me wrong. Like, I personally believe that editing is a form of art. It can be a really good way to express yourself. But the core problem we are facing nowadays is that everybody's content, again, myself included, looks identical. Like, if you showed someone 3 different videos from 3 different hardcore YouTubers, but instead had a new random person do the voiceovers for all 3 of those videos, the editing would be so similar that your test subject wouldn't be able to tell those videos apart. They wouldn't be able to tell that those videos were made by 3 different people. And I try to make my videos different and a bit more tailored to me and my personality, but that doesn't always work. So with that out of the way, to properly answer the question, I don't think the problem is necessarily hardcore Minecraft or just Minecraft content in and of itself. I think the problem comes in the form of the lack of personality that comes with retention editing. And that has been created by the increasing amounts of people with short attention spans on the internet. And I'm not blaming the audience or trying to deflect my insecurities about my content onto my followers. I'm simply saying that there seems to be a broader problem across the entirety of the internet, not just hardcore content, where everybody is stuck in this vicious cycle, this loop where people's attention spans are lowering, which is creating YouTubers who feel like they need to edit really fast to adapt to those new attention spans in order to get large amount of views, in order to get paid an amount which, they can then justify putting hundreds of hours into Minecraft. But that in turn is creating a surplus of fast-paced content that is contributing to the demise of attention spans. And then it just goes on and on and on. So to sum it up, I don't think the problem is hardcore content. I think it is people's attention spans, or rather the lack thereof, which is then creating creators who tailor to those attention spans. And then those videos create people who have even lower attention spans. I think that's the primary problem.
Are we going to be the ones to make a difference?
Well, I mean, it's possible. I'd like to think so. I don't know that making a difference is possible at this point with how far down that road we are. Like, it might be, we might be too far along the Minecraft hardcore road to make a difference. It may just be time to put the hardcore trend to bed and to move on to something else. Because I know a lot of people are getting sick of it, but I think we could make a difference. I think the best thing that we can do is to try to inject personality and just be the best content creators that we can be, and inject our personality and be more thoughtful in our videos, and hopefully that will take us far. Yeah, I mean, I really hope we are the ones to make a difference, but the reality is, like, that time may have just come and gone.
Well, I believe there's still some impact that we can make.
Yeah, I will admit I have a very pessimistic view on the way Minecraft content is going. I really, unfortunately, I do believe we are not in a very good place at all. But I also think you're right. I think there could be a potential turnaround. I think that I'm starting to see a lot more videos, a lot more just talking videos, where people will just sit down and they'll just talk to their audience about anything. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with flow state.
I am.
Yeah. He has some really good stuff. I mean, there are a couple other YouTubers who are doing things like that. So I think we're starting to see this trend where people are like, hey, we're sick of the fast-paced stuff, but we're not done with survival and hardcore content. I think there's a balance to be found. And actually, now that I'm bringing this up, that might be the way we make a difference. I think that the future of hardcore Minecraft lies in finding the balance between editing for retention, or making videos for retention, and making your videos feel personal for your audience. I think that there's a middle ground there that if current content creators are able to nail that, the Minecraft community is going to be in a really good place. So I think you're right. I think there is hope.
Yeah, the thing is, we have to think YouTube started somewhere, and if people were able to be retained back then why can't they now? We're still the same human beings, right? Maybe we're used to more advanced technologies, especially now with the advanced social media with like TikTok and short form content and such. It's still quite difficult to adapt those people to a more humanized content form or pace form. But I've seen quite a few, or I would say quite a lot of people that just keep themselves away from that type of content. They purposefully look for tools and just ways of life to stay away from that type of content and those types of social media, such as TikTok and whatnot. So I think there is still, I also think there's still a lot of, opportunities to do and make a difference. I also, before I became something on YouTube, something solid, right? I have a name, I guess you could say. I had some friends back then, and then we talked about YouTube content. They weren't really creators, but they just talked about it because I was a creator. And I said that Minecraft content was kind of in a downfall, but there were certain creators coming up, and I was like, I feel like Minecraft content is going somewhere better now, because I saw new creators. I don't really exactly remember who they were, but they were starting and their content was going quite good. It was quite, there was a lot of personality. You get to know them, and just watching an episode, you know what kind of person they are. And not too long after that, I saw videos of Naivo pop up, and you pop up, and lots of new upcoming hardcore YouTubers. And I feel like the smaller hardcore YouTube creator community is a little more bound to that personality. Maybe it's because we're still a little small and we want that connection with the community, but I kind of believe that it's just that we are different and we want a different type of connection with the community or our communities. And that's why I'm very open-minded about the the change that we are actually able to make, since there is a lot of creators that see this issue and actually act on it.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And there's definitely, even though I still think that Minecraft isn't headed in a great direction, I definitely understand what you're saying, especially about the community that's being built by smaller creators. It is a very unique kind of like subcategory of Minecraft hardcore that's on the come up, I guess you could say. And there is one of the things that I find most interesting about this all is it's creating the need for these new creators like us to adapt to the situation. Like immediately when you look at like videos, like not to toot my own horn, but like when you look at my videos and you look at your videos and all these other new YouTubers, it's like they're gaining thousands upon thousands of followers right out of the gate because their content like is so good compared to what new YouTubers were 10 years ago, which was just turning on the camera, recording, talking, tripping over your words 20 times, and then uploading it. I mean, new YouTubers nowadays, like, they have to go through this whole production process, you know, for the most basic videos. So whether or not that's a good thing, I think, you know, time will tell, as you said, like as this community grows and everything. But it is very interesting to see the caliber of creators that are being produced by this inherent need to evolve, for content to evolve. You know, I love, you know, I hate seeing everybody doing retention editing and stuff, but at the same time, they're making really good videos. And it's really neat to see how far along new YouTubers have come. But, you know, that also opens up a whole other can of worms, which is like the skill gap, the skills that are required to start a YouTube channel. There's a lot more of them that you need now. You know, if you're thinking about starting a new YouTube channel nowadays, it's like you can't just like get all your recording software and then start uploading. You know, for some people, for, you know, the 1 in a million people who have really cool personalities, who just really are standout, like that basic stuff will work for them. But for the majority of creators, it's like that basic entry level requirements, it's not enough anymore. You're going to have to put hours into studying the algorithm. You're going to have to put hours into, you know, figuring out how Minecraft works, what people want to see. You know, you literally have to study the internet. And then you have to be the director of your videos. You have to be, you know, the video editor of your videos. You have to be the writer. You have to do the scripting and everything. You know, you have to, I guess, be your own secretary. You have to know when to schedule your videos, at what time, and how to either, you know, target like search results or browse features or the recommended page, and how much short form content should you also be sprinkling in and stuff. There's so much more that needs to be considered when you're starting out now that, to be honest, I'm afraid that that's going to push new creators away from wanting to start, because there's just so much required now.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that as a fellow creator myself. It is a very difficult process to actually step into this industry, I guess you could say. Because when we're honest, I think you and I both know it took over hundreds of hours to actually make that first step into an actual vision of a future on this platform, right? Yep. Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't be like that. I also think, I'm pretty sure you've seen all of the people quit right now. There's yes. Lots of great creators, not just Minecraft creators, great creators just leaving, and they're just stopping, such as the MatPat recently, and there's just a bunch more. And it's really sad to see that, but it's very realistic, because the creators are really just stepping boundaries, and the human body just can't keep up with it. It's really ridiculous to spend 2, 3, or sometimes even 6 months into one video. That's not normal, especially not if you're a production team of one person, right? And that one person has to go to work or has to go to school or to college.
Right.
It's not really healthy, and I think from the viewer's perspective, they don't really see it. Obviously, they don't really know what's going on, but yeah, it does take a while to get these big videos out, and if you don't bring those videos out, it's unlikely that you will ever get close to seeing that success that you're able to see if you would do it.
No, you're 100% right. And one of the biggest problems, just like you said, is like, okay, sure, you can pour hundreds of hours into a video and make a really good video and it goes viral and you're doing well and everything. But was that healthy for you? Probably not. You know, there probably went a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of coming home from work, immediately getting on, editing and playing until late at night, and then getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then getting up for work or school the next day and doing that all over again. Like I'm still there right now. Like I'm still having to do that. And you have to be able to determine whether or not it's actually worth your time. Because like I said, you may be able to make that great content and people are going to love it, but there may not be enough revenue involved for you to justify pouring that many hours into creating Minecraft content. You know, I think, and that's a big thing I think that's a big thing that people are afraid to talk about, which is money. You really, a big part of this process is figuring out how much of your dedication to making videos is driven by revenue and money. If you're doing it as a passion project, that's great. If you're able to balance your life with YouTube and you don't really need or want that extra income, that's great. You should be fine. But if you really want to make a career out of YouTube, you have to, I mean, you have to push for that retention and that money sometimes. Otherwise, you're going to be throwing your life away. You know, you have to be able to come to a point in your career where it's like, okay, I've been uploading for 2 years and I have a couple 100,000 followers, but, you know, ad revenue for Minecraft is not great. I mean, it's really, I think it's literally one of the worst niches to be in on the internet right now because the pay is so low because there are so many of us. So after a certain amount of time, it's like, sure, your channel's doing well, but the amount of hours that you're putting in, that's not being reflected in the revenue that's coming back. And another big problem that I've been doing a lot of research on is that, and what I'm about to say, this is why injecting your personality into your videos is such a big deal. One of the biggest problems that is arising is that, or this has been around, most of the viewers who watch Minecraft content are really, really young. They're kids. And from what I've heard, a lot of the biggest YouTubers out there, the majority of their income and revenue comes from sources outside of regular YouTube ad revenue. The majority of their money comes from their Patreon or their channel memberships or their merch, or maybe a product that they're selling, or an endorsement deal with another company. And the problem there is that, and this is nobody's fault. This is just the reality of the situation. Kids will not be buying that. They are coming to your videos for free content to be entertained, and most of them probably do not care about anything else outside of your main videos, which creates this void in revenue where it becomes very hard to have a YouTube channel that's sustainable. You know, and again, you have to ask yourself that question. It's like, yeah, my videos are good, but is this worth my time at this point? You know, are hundreds upon hundreds of hours worth maybe at most an extra $1,000 a month? You know, that's just how it is.
I would say you're right there. I thought a little bit about it as well. I obviously looked into it to see if this is even realistic to do in the first place. A while ago, I saw a video. It was another one of these Minecraft content is dying. You know, one of those videos again. And I saw in the beginning, I saw one of my build, the Aurora Castle. I saw that one also in the intro. And I was like, okay, or it actually was sent to me by someone, and I was like, okay. And I watched the rest of the video. And the guy, I'm obviously not going to say who it was, but the guy went on and said something about that creators are making content for the money. And I don't know how popular this opinion is, but I was completely against it. And I was like, how could you even think of this? Because when I look at it realistically, would anyone really spend the amounts of hours that we actually spend into these videos to get that money? Wouldn't you at some point just burn out completely because you don't have any passion for what you're doing? You're not going to spend so many hours into something just for the money when you have absolutely no passion or nothing for the things you create, right? You're going to be bored of it. You'd be bored of it before you even begin finish recording, before you even begin editing. If I didn't have a passion, for example, in those three months, I would have been burnt out already if I just didn't feel anything for what I was doing, right? So that is a very wrong opinion to have, because I'm adding this onto what you just said about the revenue thing. I want to prevent people from having the wrong opinion or the wrong understanding of this. I can assure you, we enjoy creating the content. I can 100% speak for any human that no human would sit hundreds upon hundreds of hours behind a screen on just, like your ass is hurting, right? No one's gonna do that just for the money. No, there is passion going into these videos, and yes, the videos are then edited in fast pace, but can you really blame that on the creator after the creator spent hundreds of hours into recording something and creating something, and not even speaking about the whole process of production? Would you really think that creator just doesn't care if the people actually watch that creation of him? Then of course he's gonna care. Of course I'm gonna care if people actually are retained and they keep watching. You know, it's also also it's for the support, also for what I'm earning from it, but it's also I spend hundreds of hours into this and no one's interested in my project, in my creation. That would really hurt. You know what I mean? So
yes.
Don't think of it as they're just doing it for the money. Look, I can promise you that I could have made so much more money if I just went to a regular job. I could have made so much more money. So no, it's not about the money. Money is definitely part of it. I have something that I always am very strong about, and no one can change my opinion about this, is why would you make the decision to not try and make your hobby your career? Because there is this thing I heard somewhere where the person or whatever, a philosopher or whatever he was, said that if you do what you enjoy every day, if you work at or just work on something you enjoy every day, there won't be a single day in your life that you're actually working. And that is 100% true, because it's basically your hobby that you're doing.
No, I completely agree, and I think that's kind of what exactly the point I was trying to get across when I said you have to gauge and you have to do a mental check of yourself to understand how much of this is actually passion and how much of this is a revenue-based decision for me. When you sign up to do YouTube, you need to know that going in, because if it's not a genuine passion, just like you said, after that 3 months goes by, that 6 months goes by, if you start getting completely burned out and you're finding that it's harder and harder for you to sit down and record videos, it's harder and harder for you to enjoy this game, that's to me, that sounds like like regular burnout, that happens to everybody. But if you really start to hate making content, if you really like just are like saying, why am I doing this? I'm not finding any success. This is whatever. That's a sign that you probably shouldn't be doing it. You know, when you sign up to do this stuff, like, you have to be all in. And it's exactly like you said. You and I and everybody else who does this would definitely be making so much money if we just picked up a second job or a second regular job. But we do it, like you said, yes, a little bit for the money, but primarily because this is something that we love, that we think is valuable enough to pour hundreds of hours of our time into. And the idea of turning this into something where we can be creative for a living and work for ourselves and not have to report to other people, and to have complete freedom over how we choose to work, what we choose to work on, and when we choose to do it. That, to me, is where the primary value of being a content creator, a Minecraft content creator, comes from. It's not necessarily exorbitant amounts of money, because that is more than likely not going to happen. It is being able to make enough money to have a sustainable life, but also be able to create your own schedule and have the freedom of working and doing what you want when you want. That is where the real value is to me.
Okay. I'll go ahead and include this here. So my other friend that I was gonna have an interview with, I think he said that he had like finals or something for his college, but he made a very solid point, and this is directed at the creators themselves. And he himself is like a skyblock YouTuber. He's not a hardcore YouTuber, so he's like from outside our niche, so it's like an outside perspective. And he said that generally he thinks that creators are shying away from experimenting with content because of the algorithm. The algorithm is keeping them from trying different things, right? Because we all know if we do something different, if I go ahead and I say, okay, you know what? Today I'm going to do a manhunt video, or I'm going to do a speedrun video, or whatever else there could be, right? Or a mod video. There is a huge chance that lots of your hardcore viewers are just going to be like, this is not my type of content. And YouTube is going to see, oh, people are not liking this video. So your video, first of all, is instantly going to be shut down from the algorithm. And secondly, it's going to affect your channel as well, because you're stepping into a different direction. But there was something that I can say on this as like a turnaround. I actually learned this from SB737. I'm pretty sure everyone knows who he is in the hardcore community. And he said that he saw it in another creator. He saw another creator do the same thing. I don't exactly remember who it was. And that is every 3 to 5 videos, upload a different time, just whatever it is. Obviously Minecraft based. If you want to experiment with it, go ahead and do IRL content or whatever you want to do. But for example, I instead of doing a hardcore video, I'll do a challenge video. And I already have an idea that I'm going to try. He said that if you do it every 3 to 5 videos, it isn't really going to affect your channel, because you have those other videos waiting that 100% people are going to watch them. Right. So you're not completely stepping away from your main content, but it is something different. And those videos are always so fun to watch and so fun to create as well. It's, for example, I think the best example I can give is Rekrab as a creator. He has a completely different style. Like, he's just completely out of the whole Minecraft community, and he has something very different going on for him. And this is one of the proofs that experimenting and doing different things is successful, can be successful. I think Rekrab is a very good example to take. But also these bigger creators, I think SP737 is the biggest Minecraft hardcore creator. I'm not too sure. You can correct me on that one if I'm wrong. And if he says that, then we shouldn't be scared of actually going that path. I think that that's more of an encouragement to say, hey, you can actually do this. There is people that do this. And he also mentioned, yes, you are going to get less views, but does that really matter if you're actually having fun? You're doing something different. You don't have to spend hundreds upon hundreds of hours into something to make it successful and still get something great out of it. No, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Right. No, I think that's I think you really hit the nail on the head with that one. And what your buddy was saying about YouTubers shying away from branching out with their content because they're scared of the algorithm, that's exactly right. And that, to circle back to what I said earlier, that's one of the things that was worrying me when I said that we may be too far down that road to turn back at this point, because the algorithm is so violently tailored to retention nowadays that it's exactly what you said. If you deviate from your regular content literally in any way, you are immediately punished for that. And now, like you said, if you get less views, who cares? Right. But at the same time, if you have a new series that you want to start that you're also really passionate about, and you immediately take a hit on views and income, that's going to be, for a lot of people, that's going to be discouraging. That for them is going to be enough to turn them away, because they want to be, they still want to be rewarded for putting those hours in. But I do think that you're correct with that. I think that every couple of videos, do something different, if not for your audience, just to give yourself a break, just to give your brain a break from what you've been doing. I think that's healthy for you, and I think that's a good idea for your audience. I mean, my most recent video is a perfect example of this. Okay, so the video before last that I uploaded 2 videos ago was my most recent hardcore video, and that got like 50,000 views within 48 hours. The video after that, my most recent video, was a mods list video. And even though it was a very highly requested video by my community, I am 3 days into that upload, 4 days into that upload, and it has 6,000 views. That is an astronomical difference. That is a huge difference in views, just because not everybody who normally watches my video wants, even if it was a lot of them who wanted to see it, just because, not as many wanted to, YouTube killed it. Like, it didn't even get pushed out to a wider audience.
Yeah.
My impressions are super low because it saw that my initial following didn't enjoy it. And so there's a disconnect in the algorithm works, where I don't think it's at a point yet where it can understand that, okay, this may be a good video that just this person's regular audience might not like. Let's try to show it to other people. No, it kind of just goes, okay, people that normally like this guy's video aren't liking this video, kill it. So that is a problem, but I think you're right. I think really facing that reality is the way to go. I think every couple of videos you should upload something that's more personal for you. I saw an interview, and you mentioned MatPat earlier. He did an interview where he said the way he went about creating and monitoring game theory was that he would make a video for the algorithm, he would make a video for the audience that's already there, and then he would make a video for himself. And he knew that when the time came for him to make a video for the audience that was already there, that already loved his channel, and make a video for himself, he knew that eventually he would circle back to that first category, which was making a video for the algorithm that would bring people back in and keep the channel from dying. So although like you said, it is important to upload like a video for your. Oh, I just lost connection.
And she disappeared.
Oh, there we go. No, but what I was saying, I think there is a balance that needs to be found there. I think it is very important to upload videos that you love. It's important to upload videos that your community who knows you more personally loves. But you can't do that so much that it gets to the point where the algorithm drops you completely, because then everything will have been for nothing. You have to, I still, as much as being yourself is important to me, I still strongly believe you have to do a little bit of, you have to do algorithm pleasing. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just
100%. Yeah.
It's part of the business that is YouTube, you know? But I think that's a really good way to go about it. You know, video for the algorithm, video for your more personal audience, and then a video that you enjoy to give yourself a break from the storm that is creating videos for YouTube, you know?
I agree. There's so many different topics that we can speak about the algorithm about YouTube. We haven't even tackled one of the biggest things that is just all over YouTube, which can easily get you canceled if you just say the word Mr. Beastification. You know what I mean? Yep. It's a huge issue.
Yes.
I'm going to speak shortly about it. I don't want to go too much in depth about it because I don't think there's a point. It's been spoken about so many times, but unfortunately, those people are just going to continue existing, and you can't really just tell them to leave, right? You don't have that authority. Mm-hmm. But I believe there is a border on YouTube. There should be a border, I believe, because YouTube began and continued for a very long time as a creator platform. When you're a YouTuber, automatically everyone's like, okay, this guy's a creator. You create stuff, right? There's a difference between being a creator and being a whole production team. That's like it's almost like a TV show. You're almost like a movie set or I don't know, a game show or anything, right? I think there's still a balance that you can make if you step into the direction. I think, for example, Dude Perfect. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They have
very familiar.
Yeah, they have a very good balance in that. They're still, you can still say these people are genuine creators. And I'm going to be very controversial here, and this is a very, very hot, burning topic, but I believe that Mr. Beast is not you can't really consider him a creator anymore. And I think, I know a lot of people are going to be very surprised about me saying this right now, but it's gone too far, I believe. And in an interview, I heard him say, or not an interview, actually, there was a video a video made about the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. And Mr. Beast commented under the video saying that people should tell those Mr. Beastification YouTubers to stop doing it. And I found that very hypocritical for him to say, since his best friend or friend, he's definitely friends with him, Eric, is one of those. So it's a bit weird for him to say, oh yeah, those people, you should not watch them, or you should tell them this and that. Well, your friend is exactly what you're telling the audience to stay away from, right? It's very, very weird and hypocritical of him to say that. And I'm very strong about this. I do believe that Mr. Beast did ruin YouTube. I think Jacksepticeye has a very more in-depth explanation of this. I think I saw it somewhere. It was a while ago though, but he is right. And I think in short, it was something like YouTube is not about doing fun things anymore. It's stepping away from that. I was going to say slowly, but it's sprinting away from that. Yeah.
No, I think you're right. Mr. Beast I agree, and no, I think I agree 100%. To be honest, he is not really a YouTube creator anymore. He's a philanthropist,
Mm-hmm.
and what he's doing, like where he's building schools and giving surgeries to deaf and blind people, like that is incredible that a YouTuber has amassed enough wealth and enough of a following to be able to do that. I think he's paved the way for a bright future with being able to change the world through platforms like this, through getting paid to create on platforms like this. The problem comes in where everybody else after him thinks they're going to be able to do the same thing. They're not. 99% of them are not. And they are doing exactly what you said. It's ruining YouTube, and the fact that everybody's editing like him, everybody's trying to get everybody else's attention like he did, because to be honest, I think one of the biggest mistakes he made is he told everybody how he did it. He did so many interviews and so many podcasts where he was like, if you want to keep people's attention, do this. He literally laid it out for everybody. And of course, like that was just him, in my opinion, being a generous individual who wanted to help see his community grow and his followers be able to accomplish what he's accomplished. But in turn, accidentally, that just created a really massive problem for people and their attention, So I think that hot take that you had about Mr. Beast like not ruining the internet and YouTube, I think that's becoming less and less of a hot take and becoming more of an accepted point of view. Because the longer we go with this Mr. Beast type of trend, and it's not just Minecraft content, dude. You see it in every other kind of content. You see it in vlogging, you see it in finance content, you see it in makeup content, you see it everywhere, and it's like the only creators who aren't doing it are the creators who were already established as personalities before it happened.
Yep.
Like the Casey Neistats or the Emma Chamberlains or
PewDiePie.
I don't know, like PewDiePie, like Smosh, like they're coming back, like Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link, like all those guys. They are lucky in the sense that they got in before it all went to shit. But I think so you're definitely right, that's a huge problem. There's still room for new creators, but if we have to break this trend of trying to follow Mr. Beast down his rabbit hole into the wonderland that he's created for himself, it's not, first of all, it's not realistic to do, and it's not good for the internet community as a whole. It's really unhealthy, and that's the main problem. It's unhealthy.
I think I do want to end the interview, I guess, in like on a positive note. I will say that despite all of this difficulty and whatnot on the platform, I still believe that there's a good foundation of new creators that actually seem like they can change the platform hot take drastically.
Yes.
I've like seeing the new creator. I've seen some new creators, and they're starting over, or they're beginning their career, and instantly I can see fast-paced content in a positive way. I see them. I'm entertained because of their personality, and by the way the video flows. I think I'll give you as an example yourself, since we both know you, right?
Right.
I think you have a very unique and unmimicable editing style, right? The way you put your videos together and narrate them or tell them feels like I'm actually with you there on the adventure. I'm included. I'm there. Right. Instead of I'm sitting here in my chair, or I'm sitting in my bed, and I'm watching someone's adventure. It's more like I'm actually with them, right? I've seen the same thing with many new creators, such as I think Speaker 4. He's going on with the slow paced content, but he's doing it so well. He's advancing very little, and it's very what is it called? Let's play style, but he does do some amazing things, and it's very fun to see his world kind of be built. And then there's Nivo, and you can tell he's just a funny guy. It's like not in a negative way. It's like a clown making a Minecraft video. It's really funny to watch, and you can't mimic that. As hard as you try, you can't be like that, because that person, that's their actual personality. You as well, you have your own personality. This is gonna sound ego. I have my personality. I think I can be funny or whatever. Where when it comes to Mr. Beast, it's more of a character that is explaining something and is like narrating something. It's like a game show, and you're talking about the game show, right? Everyone can do that. Everyone can go high with their voice, scream into the microphone. But not everyone can come up with unique jokes or unique styles of editing and unique ways to take someone on a completely unique adventure, right? And I also believe that we are in the Minecraft community circle, and the Minecraft base game is sandbox, and it's impossible to, if you have a unique idea that you want to make. I told Incy what I was going to build next, for example. If you come up with something like that, it's not going to be easy to mimic. You can make a video where you just built that as well, right? But it's just going to be, okay, this guy just did what he did, right? Instead of with the Mr. Beast videos, it's I guess you could say it's actually the same thing there, but I think that is just so broad that it's become more normal than on the Minecraft side of YouTube. So my point is that there are a lot of creators that are vastly growing, and that have an actual personality. I can tell that they are human. Right. There's one sitting next to me. I mean, in the game next to me.
Right.
So it's more easy to feel for a creator this way. You actually, it's almost like it's like I wouldn't say a friend, because we talked about that before. I would say more like you're in a school, and there is this I don't know, this one student that you always see, or this one teacher that you always see, and he's like a very fun teacher in your high school or something. I don't know.
An acquaintance.
Yeah, a very weird example, but you can really just compare it to that.
Yes.
Starts to rain. It's a bit depressing now, but
no, I think you're very right, and I'm definitely for sure walking out of this with a more positive perspective on the situation that we're all in right now. I still believe that Minecraft content is in a dark place right now, a very dark, repetitive place. But
definitely,
after having this conversation and really exploring, a lot of different ways this could go and why things are happening, I think you've definitely changed my mind a little bit. I think you're right. I think that even though I still think we are in a dark place, I think that a lot of young creators are starting to realize that people still enjoy content for the personality behind the camera. And I think as long as everybody continues to build on that, and we build on it quickly, there's hope for a brighter side of YouTube that isn't so tailored to retention and how long can you keep people glued to your screen, and there will be more of a movement to go towards content that feels more personal. I think you're right.
Okay, we've been here for over an hour.
It was a good conversation, man.
Yeah, it was a really fun conversation. I'm glad we actually had this. It's great to talk like this. And
yeah, it was.
Yeah, what can I say? Subscribe to NC. I think
subscribe to PyjamaPrince.
Yeah. Make sure to do that as well. I think I underestimated the depth we would dive into in this interview.
To be honest, I really think you should definitely reach out to more creators, though. Try doing this with a lot more people. This is very important. This is important because it involves all of us, and we really need to figure out as a community where we want to take everything, because it is going to take the entire community to either go in a positive or negative direction. So
thank you for being here for so long. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate you for your time. I was also glad to actually talk to you for the first time, like in real voices, instead of chat messages.
Put a voice to the face.
Yeah. It was great. Thank you. I wish you a great rest of your day.
You too, man.
Yeah, I hope to have another good conversation with you in the future.
For sure, we should reconvene in a couple of months, see if anything's changed.
Yeah, see the progress, see the impact we've made, hopefully.
For sure.